Greg, if you're ready, I think we can start.
Okay.
All right. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking your time today to join our webinar. If you didn't catch the first one that we did, pretty much on there, I explained that we're going to try to be doing these more and more with different types of topics to kind of help give you guys more knowledge about Chipley, new things that are coming to the platform, and just all sorts of information. So today, Craig, if you guys haven't met Craig, um, he is an excellent explainer on things, and he's going to be going over the templates, and we can get started.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Um, yeah, so today we're mostly going to be focusing on templates, how to bring them in, why we use them, the benefits of them, how you can implement them into your business, and then how do you create your own if you don't, um, if you want to kind of mess with what we have, um, and then we can help you with that. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. All right. So I'm started off. I'm already on the products page. And for those of you who haven't logged on in a while, this is our new updated products page where we merged the review page and the product spreadsheet into one. So from here, I already have a store mostly started. Just to give you guys a heads up, I already have some artwork uploaded. I've already created some processes just to save us some time, so that so we can get to the real meat of how to bring a template in. So to bring in a template, I'm going to start off on the products page. And then from here, I'm going to hit the plus button, which then is going to take me to the add products page here. It defaults to the Chipley products so that I could search up my products. But what I really want to do is I want to click into the Chipley templates and access these. So Chipley creates templates roughly, well, I should say we update our templates roughly twice a year based on new product offering, when the new catalogs come out from the vendors. Also, when we get a lot of feedback from certain dealers on what should be on those templates. So the templates are curated and strategically done. We don't just throw random items on there. They are done with an intention to increase your sales, and to take a lot of work out of your day to day. So for me to pick a Chipley template, one of our preloaded ones, it's already defaulted to be selected. And then I'm going to select a template from the drop down here where you can see we have a whole bunch that are ready to go for you to use. The one I'm going to do today, we're going to do the Sanmar and Under Armour one. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Under Armour and Sanmar store. And then I'm now just going to hit search. And what's new about this is one, I can preview this template. So before I even bring it in, I can preview what this template is going to look like and what types of products are being brought into the store before I do that. The other nice thing with the update is I can pre-select and deselect the items that I don't want to bring in. So like in an example here, I might not want to bring in maybe like the beanies. Maybe my group isn't into that. It's warmer where I live, so I don't really want to bring those in. I could even get rid of maybe some of these full zip jackets as well. Another good example might be if you're doing a store for more of like a high school team, or like an adult spirit wear store. You could go ahead and remove all the youth items from there right from the beginning without having to bring them all in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add these selected products. And then Chipley's going to tell me, hey, there's 72 items that are going to be brought into the store. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. And then I don't have any categories currently, so I'm going to go ahead and hit next right away. And then this is where Chipley kind of pieces together and kind of walks you through how are these items going to be decorated. We've tried to curate the templates so that they are already pre-separated based on how you're most often going to be decorating these items. So like these items here are usually decorated with a full front print. However, you could always upload when you have your process already in there. That doesn't mean they have to be decorated with a full front print. These could be a left chest print, or however you a full front and full back, however you have your process set up ahead of time. But I'm going to assign these items to my full front products or process. And then these are my left chest and left leg embroidery. I have my just my for me, I don't exactly know how I'm going to be decorating these yet. I might be doing like a transfer depending on minimums and things like that if it's worth doing the embroidery. So for the time being, I'm just going to be pretty general and I'm just going to do a left chest and leg. And then same here, we kind of separated these that these are most often not embroidered. But today I'm going to go ahead and put these into my just my left chest, left leg process. And then for my hats, I do have a hat embroidery process that's separate to those. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And now what's fairly new is I can go ahead and pick my colors and sizes right from here. So with the artwork that I have and the group that I'm working with, I'm going to offer gray lights, navy, red, and white. And then I want to offer all these sizes, except I probably don't want to do youth extra small just because of the size of the artwork. And then I probably want these small mediums because those are most likely like the hats, one of the hats that I have. But I don't want tall sizes, so I'm going to leave those off and I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And then I can right away decide, do I want to use my inventory thresholds? Do I want to apply any sort of tiered pricing right away? Or do I want to add fundraising? Maybe for this group, they want to add $3 to every item on the store. So I can go ahead and do that right away. And then I'm going to hit done. And it's now going to start bringing all those products into my store. And because I had my artwork uploaded and I had my processes set up, I also chose my color variations at the artwork level. So it's going to recognize the difference between a navy product and a red product and know to put the different artwork variations on each one. This is usually a great time to go and refill your coffee or use the bathroom. Probably reheat your lunch because you got interrupted 2 times. And then what we'll do is while this is loading, I'll talk about why I chose the Under Armour Sanmar template. This template specifically was chosen because we pair a brand name item with like the milled items. And there's a couple reasons why they do that. One is not everyone just wants those milled items. A lot of people seek out that logo. So they want that name brand product. But then there's also people in that group that don't want to pay the name brand price. So we added comparables on there, those name brand comparables. The other nice part about that is the name brand items don't always necessarily have the best inventory at all times. So if there's ever inventory lacking in the name brand item, hopefully those milled items can make up for that and will fill that gap with the inventory influx. While this is being brought in, I can also talk about why we use these templates. So some people might be thinking like 70 products is a lot of items on your store, and it is. However, with the templates, you know that you're using those same 70 items on your stores a lot. And we are consolidating them to just like 2 vendors in this case. We just have Under Armour and Sanmar. So we're kind of touching on a couple points throughout your business. One, with your purchasing, because you've consolidated it to 2 vendors, you're increasing your odds of meeting your minimums on the store. And just because you're offering more products doesn't mean that they don't apply and attribute to those minimums. So hopefully when the store closes, you have met minimums in both, and then you can just order all from one store and you don't have to piece together other stores. And then the other thought that might be going through people's head is that might wreak havoc on your receiving team because of how many items there are, which it may be at first. But once you and your team start implementing more and more in these more and more of the templates over and over again, your receiving team is going to get used to seeing those same items come through again and again. So it might be a little bit of a shock at first. but eventually they're going to get used to it, and it's going to help make their day-to-day even easier. Other ways that you can implement the templates would be, I could have like a spiritware template and I could have a corporate template. So this way I'm tailoring my needs or my customers' needs in two different ways. So if I'm working with a corporate account, I don't have to necessarily think about all the items that they want, and I don't need to sift through a catalog where they've circled items that they want on their store. You guys are the professionals. You guys are the experts in the products and which ones are good for each group. So you could curate your own template, and instead of putting that work on your client and your customer, you could bring in the template, maybe grab their logo off like their website or even like their Facebook page, throw that on the products, and then send them a preview and be like, how would this store look? And then from there, usually the customer is pretty blown away. And then you can always hammer out the details on what that artwork is actually going to look like. All right. So now that my products are now in my store, my colors are already selected, my sizes are selected, my inventory is being monitored by the inventory thresholds. I have my auto pricing came in and adjusted my pricing here, and then my process price came in to give me a final combined price that I'm willing to sell to the customer. And you can see my fundraising came in on top of that as well right away. So in theory, my store should be, for the most part, pretty much done. I may have some things that I just need to clean up here and there, but for the most part, I have a pretty good offering of products, and everything should be, for the most part, done and ready to send to customer. I could always scroll through here, and if I see any items with poor inventory at the moment, at this point in time, I could go ahead and just remove them. Or I can be very proactive if it was an item that was kind of a must-have to the customer. So like this item here doesn't have the best inventory in these other colors, so maybe I just don't even roll the dice, even though Chipley wouldn't offer it. I'll just offer that mod gray. And if anything was real low, like this 11%, I am offering other crew necks on the store. It may not necessarily be an Under Armour crew neck, but I do have the Port & Company one that's inventory is incredible. So I might just go ahead and not even risk this and just get rid of that item so that I'm avoiding back orders right away. So bringing in the template allows me to accomplish a lot of work in a very short amount of time. What I can also do is I could also stack my templates. So we do have a lot of the like Sanmar specific ones, but we also have the Augusta Sports brands. So if I wanted to offer Sanmar specific items, and then I also wanted to offer my Augusta items, I could go back and just essentially redo what I just did, select that template, search it up, and then I can be more strategic and maybe just get rid of some of the items I don't want. But now I will have some Under Armour, some Sanmar, and Augusta if I wanted to. The way that you could create your own would be to go to your dashboard, and just like you would create a new store, you're going to go ahead and hit Add New. And then you're going to go ahead and select template instead of group or catalog. And then you would title your template. Maybe it's, I don't know, corporate 1, corporate 2, spiritware 1, spiritware 2. At Chipley, we have like our Sanmar and Sanmar Lite. The difference between the two, and we have that for a lot of our stores or a lot of our templates, really what that's doing and what that's showing is that the store has a lot more product offering. It's much more robust. And then the light version of that store is a much more scaled down version, a much more palatable. So if your customer is looking for more simple, a simple product offering, they just want t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, things like that, the light stores are going to be your go-tos. But if they're looking for like shorts, backpacks, tanks, joggers, things like that, those can be found in the store templates. So again, to create your own, you're just going to give it a title, hit accept, go through the store as if it was any other store. You'll add your products, create your general processes, and general artwork, and then you're done. And then the next time that you build a store, when you go into that, you're going to go ahead on the products page and add it from there. The other thing you can do, because that might seem like a lot of work, and you know that Chipley has some really good stuff, you could go to View Templates in the upper left underneath Add New. And then if it's not already Chipley templates, you can switch it over to that. And now here are all the Chipley templates that you could then copy from. So if you really liked the Sandmarsh School faculty store template that we have, you could go ahead and copy that template into your own template. And then you could either add or get rid of some particular items onto that. So you can, get a really good head start. Take what Chipley's already done, take all the work that we've already done, but then make it your own. And then just tweak it from there. Chris, am I missing anything? I think I highlighted just about everything.
Yeah, that's I think you did too. I think pretty much from here we can open it up to discussion. There's a Q&A at the bottom of your guys' screen. And we can kind of just take some time to go through your guys' questions and answer them and go more in depth with this. So feel free to answer or ask some questions, I should say. Maybe. Here we go. All right, we're getting a bunch of questions here.
Cool.
Okay. Mike wants to know, can you search for ladies youth in templates? So when you're bringing in templates, I don't think you can search for them. Correct, Craig? If you go into that page,
I
I
don't think so as well. So
no.
sometimes I would say there are times where it might be easier to just bring the entire template in and then use the filter feature inside the products page. And then you can filter by youth and ladies. And then you can select everything, delete it. Otherwise, what you would do, I'm just going to find the Sandmarsh. Yep. Otherwise, I would just go through and unselect these.
Yeah. All right. Natasha's asking, quick question. Versus deleting an item. If there's low inventory, could you just make it not active?
You could. There's nothing wrong with making it inactive. What's nice about making something inactive is if the inventory improves later on, or if you decide something else, it's there, which means you didn't get rid of it. You won't have to re-add it to the store. So that's just up to you. If you don't want it to stay on your store, but you want to keep it here for maybe your own reference in the future, then you would make it inactive. But if you don't care to see it at all, then you would go ahead and delete it.
Can a Chiplet template be edited and then saved to create a new template? So kind of what we talked about just there at the end.
That's right. Yeah. So I would go to on your dashboard to really make those templates your own. You're going to hit View Templates. And then from here, if you know that there's one that you really like used a lot, I could even search up that. Um,
You're in the dealer templates, that's why.
oh, thank you. I guess I can't search, but I could find that template. So I have my Sanmar Light store here. This just happens to be the old one. But I could find that store and copy it, and I would copy it as a template. And instead of like corporate Nike, maybe you just change it to something to make it your own. Um, and then you can always, from the products page, then after you bring and copy that product into your store, on the products page, you would just adjust that from here, and you can make any edits you need. Another thing, while I'm on the topic of copying stores, something I forgot to mention, a really, I think, like elite way of utilizing templates is you're still going to copy stores. So instead of rebuilding stores from scratch and just bringing in the template, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think a really great way to utilize the templates is to take an old store that you know that you're going to rerun, copy that store with all the products that they had in it, knowing that they're going to be out of date, assuming that you maybe ran the store last year or very early in the season, or late. Uh, you would copy that store with every old item, select everything and delete it and start over fresh. So all your artwork is still there, your processes are still there, but then when you bring in that new template, you just have a totally refreshed store with new items, a new selection of products, but you're still keeping that original artwork and those original processes. So if you had any names and numbers, or any other personalization on the store, you're not losing any of that. You're still keeping all that functionality. You wouldn't have to do any of the rebranding. That would stay, that would copy over. Really, the only thing that would require a change if necessary is if the artwork got updated.
Perfect. Feel free to keep on asking questions, everyone. Um, I think one thing that we can touch on too as well, Craig, that we haven't said yet is when you were talking about offering like a name brand product, we know that some companies just don't have they just can't get some of those products. So one thing that we've done is uh, I'll let you kind of touch on that with the Sanmar and SNS and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so we have definitely have plenty of dealers that like to offer Under Armour, but don't necessarily have an Under Armour account. So what we've done is we have added some supplement templates. Those being like, so if you only get Adidas items from SNS, we have an Adidas supplement from SNS. We have Nike items from Sanmar. There are Under Armour items from Alpha. Um, Under Armour by Alpha supplements. So if you are trying to offer those name brand items but don't necessarily have an account um to their offerings, but you do have Sanmar, SNS, Alpha, then you could definitely utilize that template here.
All right. One more question here. Um, if a customer wanted to use a template plus add their own products of choice, what is the best kind of route to go with that? Kind of more of, I feel like it's giving the customer a good jumping off point and then showing that to them and having them add any products that are not on there.
Yeah, absolutely. So after I've added, like on this store, I already have my template added. I could go back to the plus button, come to the Chipley products, and I could fill in with any of those specialty items that the customer definitely requested. Maybe there's a certain backpack that they really wanted. I could search up that style number here, and bring that item into the store.
Can you add a template to an existing store or can you only add to an empty store?
Great question. Yeah, you can add a template to any store at any time. Um, it's essentially you're bringing a product into your store, but instead of just bringing in like products that you have typed out or are copying and pasting, you're just bringing in a pre-grouped set of products that you built as a template. So you could stack your template on top of your already built store, um, and just add to your product offering.
All right. If you are creating your own template and you modify the description for a product, does it save those changes? Some product descriptions add more information than the customers need to see.
Yes, it's also another great reason to utilize the template. Other people also like to um, maybe hide like port and company. Maybe they don't like to see the port and company within there. They just like to see the youth core blend tea. So as I um, adjust this, it might be a little tedious at first to go in and make these changes the first time, but you are only doing it one time then. So after I do this, at least for those items, every time, if I were creating my own template, every time I would bring this template in the future, my names would stay the same. If I made any changes to the description up here, that would come in and stay the same. Same with size charts. Um, any sort of information that you're putting in here would be saved and would come across with the template every time you bring it in, as well as pricing. So if I price everything out, so if I have a certain minimum price for my milled items that I always want the product to come out as, I could put my base pricing in the one time, and then every time I bring it into the store, I could adjust my process price based on the decoration, the complexity of the decoration that I'm doing. So that way, it's a much faster and easier way, also probably more accurate way of pricing out your items quickly.
Can you do a global hide SKU and hide style rather than going into each item to check these two?
You would have to do that for each of your each individual store that you're doing. So I might hide it in the template, but I believe it will still be shown when I bring it into a new store. So I would have to select everything, and I would show/hide, and I would just quickly hide the style, hide the vendor on all those items.
Any more questions, everyone? I think there's one thing to touch on too, is just how uh, great the templates can be to help streamline your guys' workflow too. At the end of the day, we want to make things easier for you guys to create your online stores. So if you're doing work over and over again, just make that a template. So then that way you're getting yourself 90% of the way there. And then you can go back and add those products like Craig showed, and kind of streamline it so you're spending more time selling and less time creating. So
Yeah. Also, if you're pitching an idea, if you have a potential customer, and you want to show them what you could do for them, just bringing in the template is a really great way to show them what you could offer them. And like I was saying earlier, maybe you grab their logo off like their Facebook page or their website, and you just throw that onto the products. Even if they say no, even if you lose that deal, you spent no more than 10 minutes setting up the store to pitch to them. Um, and it's not like a complete waste of your time. And if they say yes and you win the deal, really all you have to do is make sure that you have the correct artwork filled out. And then you make your store a store, you make it live. You already have a completed store then. So there's no wasted steps. The turnaround time can be very fast when doing it that way.
Can you categorize the products within the template, like all youth products listed together, all ladies, then all generic products?
Yeah, Chris, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah, but just doing it that way, I think the best way to do it would be just to
just
copy
to
that
copy the
template
template.
instead of
Mhm.
bringing it in from like a blank store.
Yep. So if you do set up the categories within the template, um, the best way to probably do it would be to go to so instead of already starting a store and bringing the template in from the products page, you might be better off going to the view templates, finding that template, and copying that as a store rather than as a template. You would copy that as a store. It's going to bring all those products into your store. It's going to copy the categories, copy the processes and the artwork, so then you can just switch it over. I think I think that would be the more efficient way if you are trying to bring over those categories that you built inside the template. Otherwise, if you already have a store set up, because I'm in the store here and because I have no categories here, I have no categories to put those products into. So I think that's why you would want to copy the entire template as a group store so that it brings those categories along with it.
Perfect. Um, any other questions about like the templates or anything like that? Questions are kind of slowing down a little bit, so um, we know right now that school's kind of starting back up, so the questions are kind of slowing down. We can always end it, but you can always feel free to reach out to us with any of your questions, whether it be about templates or just really anything. Myself, Craig, and the rest of the team here are here to help make you guys succeed. So,
Yeah. I do see that there's some people who are raising their hands. If you
oh
could
yeah,
either type out your question in the Q&A. Otherwise, if you want to ask your question, just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we can set up a time to discuss those questions more personally.
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think we need to take up any more time of your guys' day. Thank you for joining us. Again, feel free to reach out to us at Team Shipley at shipley.biz, or give us a phone call at 262-202-8129. And we are more than happy to help you guys out. All right. And we recorded this as well, and we will post this later. So if you missed anything or want to refer back to something we talked about, you will always have that recording to refer back to. All right.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
You guys.